Welcome to the Funeral Nation Web Show, the best effing web show.
Welcome everybody to Funeral Nation episode 28. I'm Ryan Thogmartin. That is Jeff, the Funeral Commander Harbison. Our show is now powered by the Fast Funding Group, so that's exciting. Jeff, a lot of cool things happened this week at ICCFA. Let's just get into the show.
Well, thank you, man. And as you can see, I'm still not quite off the trip yet. I'm doing a little bit of hair off the dog, and I can't find a razor. But as y'all may have just seen, we've got the Fast Funding Group, who is our title sponsor, and it's a really big deal. The Fast Funding Group is made up of American Funeral Financial, C&J Financial, and the Funeral Funding Center. That they are the largest and most powerful funding group for life insurance in the industry. And we're excited to have them along with us. It's interesting that their booth was really strong down at ICCFA. The American Funeral Financial Group had Ken Blanchard, you can see pictured here, who is the author of the 1 Minute Manager, signing copies of the book. So we're really excited to have the Fast Funding Group powering Funeral Nation. I can assure you with our friend Jamie and his crew, we're going to be quite creative over the next long haul together.
That's right. It's so awesome to have a big title sponsor like that doing a lot of cool things in the funeral profession. So, Jeff, we just got back from NOLA, ICCFA. I feel like we have put together a dynamite show. Why don't you give everyone a rundown of what's coming up over the next 20 minutes?
Okay. Well, we're going to do something different, as we always do. There's nothing the same here. And we're going to have a little commentary about some thoughts that we had and just show a few highlights. One of the things I want to give a personal and heartfelt thank you to Rob Treadway and all the ICCFA staff, because they've really worked hard down there. And this was I want to say, a relatively and strongly successful trade show. And I think that they should be commended on having such a great convention. Brian, I characterized last week's ICCFA as an emergence of the smaller guys. Really interesting. They even had a speaker there that talked about this, saying that right up on the stage that everyone there should visit the smaller booths, especially those in technology, because that's the emerging future of our industry. What are your thoughts?
It's interesting, Jeff. I agree. The little bit I got to get out of the booth and spend time on the floor, there are a lot of new exhibitors and smaller companies now that are focusing on specific niches in the profession and really being an expert in one specific area, which I think is valuable for the funeral home. We've got a lot of the big players that were something else first, and we've talked about this a little bit on episode 27. Their main focus was in something else, and now they've got all these little side things that they're offering. And, the funeral professional isn't necessarily getting the best expertise out of that. And so a lot of these smaller guys are really finding a way to carve a niche out in this profession, focusing on a specific area where they could be the leader and provide the expertise.
Yeah, I agree with you. And in fact, some of the folks that we'll show here in a few minutes, that's exactly in line. Well, look, our little commentary buzz segment was brought to us by the folks at Simple Funeral Payment Plan, which is powered by CareCap. We got a lot of powered by, which is good stuff. These guys are the accounts recovery experts in the industry. There's $17,000 per average for accounts receivable in our industry. So you need to give a shout out to these guys and look them up. They're at simplefuneralpaymentplan.com or atneed.com. Ryan, will you roll that promo?
The funeral isn't over if you haven't been paid. Contact us at simplefuneralpaymentplan.com to find out how to become a $0 accounts receivable funeral home.
Jeff, we're recovering, getting back in the saddle from last week's ICCFA. I don't know about you, but the week after the convention is always a whirlwind, especially when you pick up some great leads. So there was quite a bit going on at the show. What events, products, services really stood out to you the most? I know you spent a lot of time on the floor, and a lot of one-on-one time. I was amazed looking at all the video you shot, but I didn't get out of the show too much or out of the booth too much. So, what are your thoughts on what we saw?
Well, first thing I found really interesting was the intro when they had the funeral from down there. In fact, you videoed that. We have it videoed. It was fed live. I don't think that's ever happened before on Facebook. It's on our Funeral Nation show. But what I found interesting was the explanation by our friend Doug Gober of how and why they do what they do. Just an example that the slow pace and mournful music is actually entering into the cemetery. And however, after the interment, that's when the party starts, because that's really the home gone. That's when we're going to heaven. And so we saw also the waving of the white flags or handkerchiefs. That has significance that they're wiping away the tears. Now it's joy. So if you guys want to see that, it's worth watching, and the explanation is in full on Funeral Nation on our Facebook page. Ryan, so I'm going to go around the floor a little bit and talk about what I saw. And to start off with is, guess what? What a surprise, Disrupt Media booth. Your crew was there. Great chance to chat with them. And frankly, your place was on fire. It was alive. And I'll talk about the fire in a minute because you almost started one. But, it was interesting that this speaker talked about, the Me Too crowd versus the expert crowd. And you guys and your team there, everybody was coming to the booth talking about Disrupt You. They were talking about Disrupt Media. They wanted to know more about social media. Your crew is recognized as the social media experts and not you're not selling caskets or urns or, keepsakes. This is what you do. So I will say that I'm going to tell on you a little bit because you like having a freaking teenager on the floor. You were riding around and got busted a few times on your cool tech hoverboard, right?
Yeah.
I saw the lady yelling at you, right?
That's right.
Like the hoverboard popo. But I thought it was funny that they allowed a horse, but not a hoverboard. That speaks volumes, does it not?
I didn't even think of that.
You can bring a horse and crap all over the floor, but don't ride on that newfangled thing. This ain't the future in here. All right, get off of it.
It didn't go over so well, but I'm glad we had them there. When I could see
get
out of the booth, it was quick transportation.
Yeah, and you're looking like the young deviant riding around, and nobody knew you. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes
kids.
too. Yeah. The coolest thing I saw in technology, I think, is the Cemetery 360 crowd. Yeah, they're new. I got a chance to go to the booth. They, too, are interviewed live and is on the Funeral Nation show. We're going to try to get those guys on here to spend a little more time explaining what it is. But they really they impress me of what they've invented, what they have. Behind them, secondarily, but separate and apart, different program, was our friends at Plotbox, Leona and her team, and Sean. First of all, it was interesting that everybody wanted to dress up and match something in my coat, which would be impossible not to do, right? Yeah, that's a story in itself. We'll get to that. But, Plotbox, their booth was thick and people all over them over there. Of course, they were serving Guinness beer, really smart. And then these two, so why wouldn't you stop by and figure out? I don't even have a cemetery, and I bought it. So it was good for me.
And Jeff, I want to stop you there real quick, just to let everybody know that you interviewed all these companies live, and they're on our Facebook page. So make sure you're going to our Facebook page. You can watch the live 2 to 3 minute interviews with all these companies. Sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure we point that out.
That's right. Trey Gannum, I just have to tell you, he was the star of the casket show.
Unreal.
There's nobody more creative. There's nobody better. And what I love about Trey, you can see those really purple whatever boots there. Of course, I'm one to talk about what somebody's wearing, right? But his heart for what he does, who he is, doesn't even compare to his talent, right? He's just a well-grounded guy, very humble, like myself, and he's the bomb. I mean, we just last week had him on here about the football player and having Louis Vuitton interior. His stuff is out of the planet, I mean,
Yeah.
and he's the bomb.
He's not a casket guy. He's a true artist.
That's
And
true. Yeah, he's an artist that puts his art on caskets, right?
That's right. I mean, it's
You
unreal.
know?
It is unreal, the creative stuff that he's coming up with and doing.
Right, and it goes back to, you know, the emergence of the smaller guys. And, you know, I just don't see him having a huge place. He just does what he does well. I am going to give a shout out to my friend Chris Trainer and the Batesville folks. They brought in Chef John Besh, who is a famous chef, pretty good-looking guy. By the way, John is a former Marine. Thank you. Troy shared that with me. John actually signed a book there with his Big Easy cookbooks. He put in my wife's. He signed, Jackie, turn the heat down. The fire alarm doesn't mean dinner's ready.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, she got a picture of it, and I got hit in the head with the book. But,
there you go.
Anyway, I got to watch and review our segment sponsor, AP Laser, and again, their technology, without a question, is making a difference. There's personalization, and then there's memory care, right? You can see that actually being done live on our Facebook page. Again, when I say live, this was uploaded real time. However, it's saved so you can see a little later. So please check that out. You know, there were some other folks that we put on there. We had the Ali Shalaket folks from Israel, my friends. They were really interesting, where they're taking cremated remains or a lock of hair, sending it to them over in Israel, and you can they will actually videotape the ceremony of those being put in different places that a family decides they want to have it. That was really cool. You got to see the guy from Funeral DNA ID. I think you interviewed him. By the way, there was 3 DNA companies there this time. So that's emerging. That's something coming along. And, of course, I think Pete did a great job with Foreverance, and all those folks were on there. One last little one that I say little one, but there were some folks there that had some electrodes and all that we use at the chiropractor. My wife bought one. I'm going to try to reach out to them and see if we can get them to come on the show. And that's worth having if you're in the funeral industry. Anyway, all this preview stuff and segment was brought to us by our sponsor, Memory Care by AP Laser. How about roll that promo?
This effing segment was brought to you by Memory Care, powered by AP Laser. Memory Care is a life story etched forever. For more information, visit aplaser.com.
Jeff, great job. I'm glad you were able to do all that. It's great for the profession, and it's great for our effing fans to be able to get a real good live look at what is happening in the funeral profession and the new companies that are emerging. So thank you for taking the time and doing that. Tell us about our effing spotlight on a funeral director for this episode. I mean, this is a big one.
It's actually huge. As everyone knows, we like to show a spotlight on a funeral director making a difference in their community and our profession. While at the ICCFA, their educational foundation, the spotlight was shining on Big Jim Darby of TriGuard and many other companies, was awarded the Lasting Impact Award. Jim's award ceremony, I did a little live feed for them as well. And at some point, I think he had a video made. I'm working with Jim Price that we could put that on our site for folks to view, because it's an incredible story. And I got the chance to meet and everybody from the Darby family, all the way down to grandkids working in the business. And it personally impacted me to listen to this man and starting humbly as a gravedigger, and to see what he's built, not only for our profession, but his family and the community. I mean, this guy, Jim Darby, is incredible. They have TriGuard, they have funeral homes, they have cemeteries. He has helped with legislation and developed. This guy has made a huge difference in this industry. And when he was speaking, he shared with us also that his wife wasn't able to be there because she had MS. And you can see it still impacts me. And frankly, I think we need to recognize the Darby family as the first family of funeral business. All right. We need to get Linda and the crowd on again. But there's no one in our industry as a family that's done so much, so far and broad, and they're the great American story. So, Jim, thank you. My hat's off. Your Impact Award is absolutely well-deserved and impactful. You touched me personally and my life, and frankly, you're someone to aspire to. And God bless the Darby family, right? I'm not sure we can get our family out for a worm wrestle together, much less work together. Of course, they all said they never argue anything, but you look at that crowd, there ain't a chance that's happening. But anyway,
that's right.
Lots of love, lots of tears, Jim. God bless you and thank you what you've done for us out there.
Absolutely, great stuff. Jeff, I appreciate again you going to that event and streaming some of that live, and I'm glad that we get to be a part of this and shine light on these people making such a huge impact and difference in this profession and really paving the way for the next generation. So very cool. All right, so we move from, again, something so touching and heartfelt to our WTF What the Funeral segment. This is something that you're going to be talking about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where we take a humorous look at the funeral profession, and you're actually going to make fun of me in this one, aren't you, Jeff?
Well, I'm not going to say make fun. I'm just going to say what the funeral. All right, so we're going to do that.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen myself from the back. I haven't got to see the back of my hair.
Yeah, you need a mirror, dude. What I think is wonderful in this contrast, we were doing this live, and you had Mayor Doug Gober. Okay, number one, Doug Gober was a master of ceremonies. My wife thought he was the mayor. She had met him before. And he was there, and there is our typical and well-revered funeral-looking dress, right? And there's you, okay, right? That you were up in front, everybody was looking from behind, including me. I'm like, what the heck? What the funeral's that? And then, of course, I had my boys from LA Ads who are famous for the red shoes.
Right.
And, of course, I had a little bit of contrast on. So here's what the lesson is, okay? Why fit in when you can stand out?
That's right.
I want people to walk by and go, what the funeral's that all about? And take a minute to listen and find out, because it's a more in-depth story. You can walk past a lot of those gray, black suits, etc., but the real story is behind what's standing out, not what's fitting in. That'll preach right there, bro.
I will. So our WTF segment sponsor is Disrupt Media and the Disrupt You Show. Disrupt Media is a full-service social media agency serving the funeral profession. And Disrupt You is a weekly web show where we do Q&A about social media and just other business things impacting funeral homes. So let's roll that promo.
At Disrupt Media, we're a social media content agency that focuses on storytelling for funeral companies. We use real stories to build creative strategies that achieve actual business goals. Want to learn more? Visit disruptmedia.co.
Well, Jeff, this wraps up episode number 28. It's time to focus on 29. Why don't you give us a rundown of what we can expect on next week's show?
We're going to have some interesting guests, as usual, and we'll have our spotlight returning with a fresh WTF. So we'll keep a little bit in the pocket. We do have, you certainly don't want to miss episode 30. There's a huge industry announcement coming along. So we're just going to go ahead and start promoting the 30 as well. But tune in for 29. I think you're going to be real well pleased that you did.
That's right. Well, folks, we can tell the end is near. The cigar is shortened. The drink is about empty. That means it's time for you to share this video. Please share this episode. And make sure that you are checking out our Facebook page for all the live video we shot at the ICCFA show. Every day we shot multiple live videos, so this is really the first time anyone's been able to get a live look at exhibits and not attend the show. So pretty powerful stuff. A lot of you tuned in for those live videos. So if you missed anything, make sure you hit up our Facebook page and check them out. As always, you can visit our website, funeralnation.tv, and submit WTF segment ideas as well as Spotlight on a Funeral Director. And please keep those Spotlight on the Funeral Director segment ideas coming. Lot of good stories are coming through that exchange, so please make that happen. All right, everybody, our FNers, until next time, have a great effing week.
Out here.